All right, family. Thank you so much again for joining us. Really appreciate that. And like I said again, we're just gonna flow tonight because, like I said, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things that we can talk about, but we're gonna try to condense it down to the best of our ability here, and try to give you, just some basic things to think about and to, just in your own personal planning. And really that's it. Just talk about some of the very extremely practical, starting up here to, some of the other things that you may or may not have thought about that you probably need to be thinking about. Family, listen, as we do know that the plans of the wicked never cease. I mean, these people are always not just planning, but they're also implementing. They're also doing things. And I tell you, I told Nicole the other day, I said, they're really reaching for their grab bag now with all these, like, we shot down an unidentified flying object. And I was reading, they were talking about how we don't know exactly what it was, but we just shot it down anyway. Wait a minute now, y'all can get reads on things that are just in the most minuscule of size, but you didn't know what you were shooting down. And there was a school, that high school said, man, they shot down our own weather balloon, so come on, y'all, come on. Meanwhile, they what's the dude, the Epstein, they released a lot of his stuff, and they had there was even more people they were finding on all the visitor logs on that island, like Beyonce and Jay-Z. They were on that island, so whatever the heck was going on with little children on there, Beyonce and Jay-Z were right on that island. And yet you got our people to be like, well, child, I don't care. She can sing though. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to give an exception to that. And then while they're releasing that information and then setting things on fire all over the place, they're dropping other stuff. I told you, they always move with their left. So anyway, here's some things that have been going on, and if you've been really following the situation, it's not just Ohio. There's been other states, that where different trains and stuff that have been either a train or a truck or whatever had, crashed, and it just so happened to be carrying some lethal stuff in it. And let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull some things up here. Okay. Oh, it's right here. This is in right here. This is in Kentucky. And they say, here's a parking lot full of dead birds in Lexington, Kentucky, 350 miles southwest of East Palestine. Yeah, it's having an impact on the environment. It is having an impact on the environment. This is, and if it's killing birds, what is it doing to human bodies? And then let me see, because I got a couple of other videos that will show you, just short videos. It was here it is. This is the water supply here. This is the water in, I think this is in East Palestine. Hold on, let me get, always hard to find. Okay, here it is. Okay, so you're going to see the, the chemical kind of like the, whatever it is, layer when she throws this rock in here. Let me turn that up. Okay, here you go. So if you take a good look there, you'll see.
Wow.
Look at all that.
Look at it.
It's all in the bottom of the creek bed. Now look at it.
I mean, it's just all in there. Now you may say, "Oh, well, that's just on the side of the road somewhere." How does that impact? Trust me, if it's on the side of the road, at some point it's going to end up in your water supply. All right, and then this is Here's another thing here. This is an image. I think this is from NOAA right here, and they were I guess they are able. I told you they're able to measure particle cross sections in the atmosphere, but they don't know what they're shooting up there. They're unidentified flying objects They don't know what they're shooting at. They're just shooting them down. It's funny. You never hear about these UFOs actually shooting back. It's always a one-way street. That's really odd to me. But anyway, so this is, as you can see, they were able to measure right here. And as I told you, the jet stream blows from the west to the east. And this is all going in the atmosphere. What they were burning, it all going way up here, all into the northeast, and even in the Canada. And I think even in Canada, they were reporting some effects as well. So this is a very, very widespread event here. All right. Let's get out of there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here's another one here. I think this is the last one. All right. So same thing with the water.
Dead fish all throughout this water. So, something I just discovered is that if you scrape the creek bed, it's like chemical is coming out of the ground. Can you come here? And let me just show this to people. I don't know if you're going to see this in the camera, but watch this. Just see that chemical pop out of the creek. This is disgusting. And the fact that we have not cleaned up the train crash, the fact that these chemicals are still seeping in the ground is an insult to the people who live in East Palestine. Do not forget these people. We've got to keep applying pressure. That's how we're going to fix this problem.
Okay, so you got that. All right. So, yeah, so that's East Palestine right now. We've been talking a lot about East Palestine. We've been saying, a lot of stuff that's going on there. And it's crazy, right? And, and then, of course, it seems like all of these, man, it just seemed like all of a sudden, all of these crashes and stuff just started happening. Well, it may seem all of a sudden to you and me, but it's not really all of a sudden. In fact, if you go to, here's an article here I want to share with y'all. It's right here. How often do train wrecks spill hazards chemicals into neighborhoods? Here's what the data shows. And if you scroll down here, let's keep going here. It tells you, I think it was like 327. Here we go. How frequently do trains leak or spill hazardous materials? And it says not very. In the last decade, hazardous materials have spilled or leaked from trains more than 5,000 times in the United States, according to USA Today analysis of federal incidents reports. However, other forms of transit notched far more spills. For every rail leak reported last year, there were 2 involving planes and 67 on highways. And the federal report showed the numbers of incidents involving trains has been actually declining. Still, in 2022 alone, rail operators reported 337 hazardous material leaks or spills, only 32 which were classified as quote unquote serious. Only 6 were reported to have caused an injury. Crashes are less than common, and then they go to some of the other minute details there. Okay. But this is something that has been happening a whole lot at a tune about 337. And even though they're saying, well, it wasn't that serious. Again, that's the government. This is the same government telling people it's okay for you to move back here. What you're seeing on your screen. So, it's all in, they not only own the stadium, but they own the refs, they own the field, everything. So they get to define what is serious and what ain't. All right. You're just a spectator. So let me bring this up here. And this is, like I said, again, we're just giving you some basic things to think about right here. Okay. So just to give you an idea of just how vulnerable much of the nation is when it comes to just trains. Now, this ain't even highways here. We're just talking railways. Mm-hmm. All right. If you look at on the screen here, you can see, especially in the Northeast and in the central part of the United States, man, I mean, it's just like cobwebs, right? So at any given time, when they're moving stuff about, chemicals and all kinds of stuff, you can kind of see now just how vulnerable this part of the country, when we're looking in just the east side, eastern part of the United States is. And then right behind that, you have central part of the United States. And then once you start moving out west, of course, it becomes a lot more sparse because
There's less people.
there's less people because you have
businesses.
mountains and all that other stuff. So it's, so they're not going to spend money drilling holes in mountains and stuff.
Right.
So all where these people are. And then guess what? Remember we showed you that map the other day of the population map, which shows majority of the people in the United States live in this part. So again, if they're going to do anything, it's going to be where the majority of the people are. Now we can say this is conspiracy or whatever. I mean, however we want to land on this is completely up to you as an individual. But the fact of the matter is that this is something that has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And now it just seems as if we're collectively are starting to wake up and realize, wait a minute, this is something pretty serious. And this is something that can really, really impact us. And in many ways is probably has been impacting us for some time, and now, but thankfully we're starting to wake up now and realize, okay, this is serious and we need to do something about this. Now, on top of that, we're just talking the rail stuff, but down in Florida, there was a fire of a company that makes plant pots, plastic plant pots. And so we're not even factoring that in, because you have, so that's more fumes in the air. And then in some of these other places too, you're dealing with fumes like down in Tucson, Arizona, where the truck toppled over and it was nitric oxide, if I'm not mistaken, which is very nasty stuff from what I understand. And, it's not really a water issue for them because it's in the desert. However, if you're in that area and you're breathing in that stuff, that can be very unfortunate. And so we got a lot of stuff that's going on here. And like I said, again, our goal tonight is just to kind of talk about some of the basic things that we need to be considering here. And Nicole, at any given time, if you want to chime in, you can. I'm going to bring up one of the things I want to touch on here as we're kind of going through is speaking of which, like today I was out and I got our water. I got of our spring water. And as I told y'all, I keep telling you again, make sure you find the natural spring in your area. All right. Make that a priority, family. Make that a priority to find and locate the natural spring in your area. I do understand if it's too far, then you do what you're able to do. Right? We get that and understand that. But if one is within a reasonable range from where you live, do make it a point to go there and to try the water, collect the water, try to get as much information as you can about it and all of that. Talk to the locals and all of that. And I know I sound like a broken record with this family, but it's not going to. You're going to be glad I kept saying this over and over again when people are rushing to the grocery store trying to get bottled water and ain't none there, but a source because you've been there before and you got some stored in your garage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So do take what I'm saying when it comes to finding those natural spring water sources. Again, that's findaspring.com, findaspring.com. Go there. And then there's a map that outlines just about all of them. Okay. And you do have, depending on where you live, like in, I think I want to say Mississippi or Alabama, I'm not sure. Some in the southeast area, you do have several places where they're black-owned water companies. You can check those out as well. There's one that was supposed to be up here in New York, but I ain't going to talk about that one because I'm still waiting for my water, but I don't know what's going on. Water. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But these other ones that I know about that are in the southeast that are black-owned, yeah, they got a very good reputation, and you can check them out. So just make sure locate that and all of that. Okay. Now the next thing is when it comes to water is fluoride. All right. Now fluoride, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn to Dr. Axe on this. He's a very good resource on this because a lot of times we've heard of fluoride and we really don't know. There's some things we know about it, but I'm just gonna go through some parts of this article very quickly here and try to hit some of the highlighted points here. I think he has a chart here that kind of really hits it. And we'll do that, and then we'll and I think there's some, Oh, okay. And we'll just continue on here. All right. So here's a chart here. Let's see the fluoride question. It says, since being introduced into the public water supplies of much of the United States and several other countries in the 1960s, a constant debate has existed on whether or not fluoride is truly safe as a water additive and or a useful dental health product. As of 2014, about 74.4% of people in the United States had community water systems with fluorinated water. 74%. Wow. And I have a map too that shows some of that. All are convinced that fluoride helped erase cavities, but a growing body of research has existed since before fluoride was even approved for dental use, finding it has the ability to cause long-lasting negative health effects in various bodily systems. A compound known as hydrofluorosilic I don't know. Something acid is found in 90% of our fluorinated water. HFC is HFS. Sound like a church. Anyway, HFS is a byproduct of the process used to create phosphorate fertilizers that used to be considered toxic waste. And if you've seen pictures of that, which I'm sure many of you have, when they're handling fluoride like that, when they're handling it, they got to be in a suit. Like they got to use a whole hazmat suit. This is how toxic this stuff is, and they're putting it in your drinking water. Now it's more than likely an additive in your water. It may contain arsenic as well. HFS also leaches lead from piping as at much greater rates than natural sodium fluoride. So as it's going through your pipes, if it's lead pipes, it's just pulling the lead in them. On the CDC website, they provide a toxicology guide for fluorines, fluoride, and hydrogen fluoride. It sets a minimum risk level of fluoride at a number that equates to 33.65 milligrams a day for a 160-pound person, which defines the amount of fluoride that would cause issues when chronically ingested. This means that a 160-pound person drinking an optimum amount of water, 80 ounces, from a fluoridated source would ingest 1.66 milligrams of fluoride from the water alone. Add a few glasses of soda or fruit juice and the same processed foods, and it's not hard to hit 3.65 milligrams on a regular basis. And then they go on there. Let's see here. Let's skip on down. Why it may be a major problem. When ingested, fluoride passes both the blood-brain barrier, meant to protect the brain and nervous system from damage of foreign invaders. Listen, please take this serious. And can even pass through the placenta into the body of an unborn baby. About 50% of the fluoride you ingest through water or other food sources is excreted by urine, while the other half tends to accumulate in the calcified areas of the body, such as the bones and teeth. 6 possible dangers of fluoride: may cause damage to the brain and central nervous system, associated with moderate cancer risk, could increase risk of bone fractures, associated with hypothyroidism, may interfere with sexual development, associated with diabetes risk. You know, for some of you, when you know how there was a time in history, I guess, where people used to live longer. And then we look now that, actually people are kind of living longer, but they're sicker. I always often wondered, gee, I wonder how long the Most High did want us to live. I mean, the natural state of the body, how long did he really intend for us to live on this earth? A lifespan. How long is a lifespan as far as he's concerned? But I will tell you this. The stuff that they're doing to the environment, like in the water and stuff, is definitely having an impact on that in terms of lifespan on people, because people are living, like I said, all in all, people are tending living longer, but people are also sicker too. And then they're saying, you know what, that's too long. Let's go ahead and kill you.
Well, death wasn't increased. Death wasn't introduced into the picture until sin was introduced into the picture. So death wasn't really in the Most High's plan
Right.
until sin came. That's the answer to your question. You know what I'm saying?
So anyway, there's a lot more here about fluoride, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But anyway, you can check that out, and we'll provide these links in the description of the video once we're finished. But I will say this: dental products. If you're using any toothpaste that please stop using this commercially based, the mainline ones that put fluoride in it. Please avoid it. And even the what's the guy? It's Burt's Bees, because Burt's Bees I think was bought out by a larger company, if I'm not mistaken. And I've heard you got to be careful even with that. Even though they make certain claims, still be very careful. Make sure whatever toothpaste you get, you make sure that it definitely doesn't have any fluoride, because dental visits ain't cheap. And as you know, they definitely ain't cheap.
And speaking of dental visits, when you go to the dentist for your cleanings, at the end of the cleaning, they will offer you, most cases, they'll offer you a fluoride treatment, so to speak. And they say, oh, it just protects the teeth. Decline that. I would decline that treatment for sure. For sure. You don't want that. You don't want that on your teeth. And they'll ask you at every single appointment. You know what I mean? Every single cleaning appointment if you want a fluoride treatment.
Okay. All right. So this part here, I do want to read some of this, because this is one slice of issues period that many people have, and and when it can't be talked about enough. All right. Let's see. It says may cause damage to the brain and central nervous system. One major cause of concern when ingesting fluoride is the potential it may have to negatively affect the central nervous system, CNS. A framed study by Phyllis Mullenix was one of the first occasions which the CNS effect was quantified. In fact, you couldn't discover any arguments on the pros and cons of fluoridation. Fluoridation. That did not include Mullenix's discovery. This well-designed study using the latest technology available at the time was conducted in the mid-1990s on rats. Emphasis on the study came from the reports from China that high levels of fluoride in drinking water, multiples of any current levels in the U.S., has been seen to affect the CNS proceedings in skeletal fluorosis. The animals were given various levels of fluoride at multiple stages of development and compared with controls. Let's skip here. Another brain-related danger of fluoride is the potential that it may result in lower IQ. All right, I'm just skipping down here. And, since fluoride crosses into some also have concern. Some have also concerned that the combination of aluminum and fluoride exposure might be a contributing factor to the development of Alzheimer's disease. Maybe you can stop right there. Alzheimer's disease. And it's interesting how now Alzheimer's, listen, when he made our bodies, he made it good. Okay. He made it good. And when we seeing today this rate of Alzheimer's, some people call it old timers, but it's called Alzheimer's amongst people, particularly our people. That's not normal. That's not, let me say this, that is not part of becoming old. Okay. It's not. This is, if you have someone who's suffering from this, it is the combination of all the toxins and stuff that has been accumulated over the years by this wicked system. All right. And then fluoride is a part of that. In animal studies, rats given sodium fluoride had significantly higher tissue aluminum levels and alterations of cerebrovascular and neuronal integrity. As there is a large amount of evidence to suggest that the aluminum plays a role in the development of Alzheimer's, it's an avenue worth looking into deeper. Okay, so it's a lot. And then they got cancer, talks about that. So he does like a whole breakdown here. Like I said, I'll make the video, the article available to you. Okay.
And then here he talks about how to detox your body of fluoride. And one thing I like about a lot of these different doctors, these blogs that we use and quote and give you links to, they don't just tell you the dangers, but they'll also talk to you about how to detox your body, right? So I'm not going to go through all of these, but in detail. But eating an alkaline diet. He says try tamarind tea. Well, he said try tamarind tea because tamarind itself will detox fluoride from your system. All right. Detox fluoride from your system. Turmeric also will detox fluoride from the brain.
Okay? And then you tell me tamarind decalcifies the
pineal gland. Or pineal gland. I love saying pineal, even though that's not the way to pronounce it. But yes. Tamarind will either tamarind or turmeric. I have to get my mind. Yeah, tamarind will decalcify the pineal gland, which fluoride calcifies. I think Yaya Jackson, you were on it. She was in the chat and said that. Yes, it does. Why is calcification of the pineal gland important? Why? When the pineal gland becomes calcified or hardened or covered with a film, right? And hardened, it's not pliable anymore. Fluoride on the pineal gland causes a person to be more, 1, compliant, more 2, complacent, and more 3, easily controlled. So you're more compliant, you're more complacent, and you're more easily controlled. All right. You're not clear and sharp and bright and you know what I mean? And able to process and think very clearly, and so these are some of the other effects that happened, when you have fluoride in the body. So the next one, in terms of detoxing, increase your selenium intake. We'll talk about that a little later, how selenium helps the production of glutathione. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Selenium is very important. You can get selenium from Brazil nuts, all right? And then exercise. So yeah, we'll make the link to this article available.
Yeah, we'll make that available to you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but you can look it up yourself if you want to. It's Dr. Axe, and the title of it is fluoride bad for you? It's not just in the water. Okay. So yeah, you can look that up yourself if you want to, but we'll make the link available here. But just real quick here, I'm just going to bring up the, just so you can get an idea of what areas of the country, since we're talking here in the United States, for our brothers and sisters that are in the Caribbean or in other parts of the world. Hey, we ain't forget about you. I can bring that too. I just need to know where y'all is, and I can find a map for y'all too. But we're going to, but I would encourage you to look this information up because I'm sure it's available. You can look it up online. But what I did was I did a search for average fluoridation levels by county.
Yeah.
So this is a county map, just to give you an idea. I'll try to make it bigger for you just so you can get an idea of just what counties are getting smacked by this stuff. And, of course, I think the darker it is, let me see. I would assume. More. Yeah, the darker the more. I just wanted to make sure that was. So, yeah, so you can look. So all the country, first of all, is hitting it. And they're putting special emphasis, look at down in Texas, look in some of these areas on the East Coast, they're definitely hitting it. And we're just talking fluoride.
Yeah.
That's just fluoride. We ain't talking anything else. Let me see. Okay, so that was a filter. Okay,
and we'll show you guys a little later. Thank you. We'll show you guys a little later. The Berkey and the Berkey filters. Berkey has fluoride filters it filters out fluoride, other chemicals as well. So we'll show you that a little later as well.
So do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and the focus on the water. Obviously, Ohio brought that. Ohio, Flint. I mean, all these different occurrences with whether it be toxic spills or issues with the municipalities supplying water. It all causes us to focus on water, but for the last, I would say probably 30 years or so, people have been talking about how the next war won't be over oil, it's going to be over water. Okay. And how, anyway, basically you want to secure your water source. You really want to focus on making sure you have clean water for you and your family. So tonight, what we're going to do, as he was saying, we're just going to touch on certain things that we use in our home for health, healing, wellness. Thank you, son. But we don't carry on Sombatry, right? These are things that we use in our home, but we don't carry in Sombatry. We're not going to go over everything because we don't have enough time to do that. But we're going to just touch on some basic things. All right. But before we do that, I want to kind of touch on the mindset, that you want to have when you're approaching, okay, how do I, what things can I take for my health? We've got chemtrails, you got stuff in the water, we got chemical spills and toxic, toxic chemicals everywhere. What can I take? A lot of people say, what can I take? I have this problem. What can I take? Or I have this illness. What can I take? And a lot of times we approach it that way, as if it's just one straight line. I have this illness. This is what I need to take. But health is a lot broader and bigger than just, this is my issue. This is the solution. It's tiered and or faceted or layered, however you want to look at it. But I think what I want to hone in on tonight is are two things: fear and stress. Fear and stress. Okay. Why am I talking about fear and stress? Well, 2 years. Has it been 2 years? March 2020. Almost 3 years, right? Almost 3 years when this whole COVID, blah, 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 shutdowns, pandemic, all of that. When everything kicked off, the tool that they used was fear and stress. Fear and stress, fear and stress, to get people into a certain emotional state, which made them more easily controlled, all right, and more open to whatever solution they would provide, all right. And so fear and stress are, it's like a 1-2 punch, all right, and it disarms you from being able to process things very clearly and make sound decisions. All right. So, so just to kind of give you a super layman's terms explanation. Sorry. There's I think I drank something and it's kind of caught right there. So forgive me if I'm clearing my throat through this, this talk. All right. So when you think about your brain, okay, when something occurs that causes you to be fearful, all right, maybe you hear about an outbreak of something in your area, you read a newspaper headline, whatever it is, and you have a fear response. That fear response starts in your amygdala, right, which is a part of your brain. Just think of that as the emotional center, all right? It's definitely where your fear response begins. And then you have your hippocampus and your prefrontal cortex. All right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but prefrontal cortex, think about that as the thinking part of your brain. All right. The prefrontal cortex causes, it basically keeps the amygdala in check. All right. It keeps that fear response in check. Okay. So when something happens and you're like, oh God, oh my God, and you've got that fear going on, the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, they kick in to say, okay, wait a minute. Let's look at this logically. Let's think about, okay, what's the solution to this issue? And it keeps that fear in check. Again, this is not clinical talk. Okay. This is very, very just basic in layman's terms. So, but what happens is this: when we stay in a perpetual state of fear and stress, your amygdala can actually grow larger. Okay. Your amygdala can grow larger and it can begin to be the captain running the ship. What does that mean? What that means is something happens in your life. You need to be able to make a sound decision, but your amygdala has grown larger. So your decision is now just being made based on emotion and fear. So you're making bad decisions. Okay. And because of other stressors in your life, maybe it's financial pressure, maybe it's relationships, marriage issues, maybe it's you've got a wayward child that's, stressing you out. Maybe you're taking care of an elderly parent and it's weighing on you. You're not sleeping well. All of these different things wear down your ability to to properly process stressful situations. Okay. So when that occurs, your decision making that would be aided by a healthy prefrontal cortex, right, is really being run by the amygdala. So decisions, oh my gosh, we got to move. We got to get out of here. We got da. Or, these people are trying to kill us. We need to, whatever, get out of here. Or you see a news flash. It's Yah's judgment. He's judging. And because you've been living in fear, everything is processed through that fear. So your decisions are not really sound, okay? Because you're not able to rationally, calmly, with wisdom and or strategy, make a sound decision. So when we operate in fear, we are not operating in love, power, peace, sound mind. We're not operating in that. So we're going to make bad decisions, which in turn, just perpetuate more stress because of the last bad decision that you made. Why are you going through all this, sis? Because when we go through these different things that you might want to add to your life, that aid immunity, that help your body detox, all these different things, they are going to be limited by your not necessarily your susceptibility, but by your stress response. So if you don't deal with, or if you don't find a way to handle stress and fear, you can pop all the supplements and pills and whatever that you want, but you're not going to get the result, right? You're not going to get the intended result. And the last thing I'm going to say before we kind of, go further is this. A lot of you have heard of neuroplasticity. Not going to go all into that. A lot of you have heard me speak about neuroplasticity before. Neuroplasticity, think of plastic or malleable, stretchable, movable, changeable. Neuroplasticity is simply the brain's ability to grow and change based on your life experiences. Okay? Based on what you, whatever programming you give it. Okay? So if your go-to is to respond in fear on anything, I haven't got a call back from my husband. He said he was going to call me. He usually calls me in the morning, but it's 4:00. I haven't gotten a call from my husband. When he gets home, I'm gonna check his phone to make sure he is. You know what I mean? Like, now again, if you have cause to think that way, that's a different story, right? But or I heard that they might lay off. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm gonna lose my job, and what am I gonna do? You always go towards fear, like always go towards fear. Let me give you a better example that's a little bit more practical. You hear about spike protein. We talked about COVID for the last 3 years, and you hear about spike protein shedding and transmission and all that. And the person who is absorbed in fear, you know what? I'm just gonna do Instacart and just order my groceries because I'm not stepping into I can't go into the grocery store because I mean these people are shedding, and I don't know what I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't go into a grocery store. Or you know what? I'm just trying to work remotely. Even if I have to take a pay cut, I'm just going to work remotely because I don't want to be around these people. Again, you're making rash decisions because your go-to is fear and stress. And you just are making your decisions because that amygdala is running the ship. Okay. So I'm just giving you some basic, and this isn't made up. Like, we get emails from people that are just, the logic isn't there. It's emotion and fear. You know what I mean? That we're hearing. And again, we are people, not just people of faith. We serve the most holy, the most, pure, the most loving creator, the creator of heaven and earth. If we are in him, it can't touch us. If we're doing and stewarding our body properly and remaining in him, it can't touch us. Plagues can't touch us unless he allow it. And if he does, we're still in it. We're in his will, obviously, because he's allowing it. Okay. All right. So that's, just know that. All right. We got to approach these different things the right way. Okay. I want to show you a picture. Dwayne, I want to show you a picture real quick. I'm going to ask Dwayne to bring it up.
And then a little bit later, family, like I said, again, this ain't going to be super long, but tonight, but, I'm going to go over, some of the, practical, for the I guess, tactical, so basic, some things that, what to do with your data and all that kind of stuff. I'll be talking about that in a little bit too. Okay. Which one of my needs?
They don't have to see it. I want to bring up something, do a search.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't have to see it.
Let me see. We can do it right here.
Okay.
And that's a very good point that you brought up as far as like that's why we wanted to start off with the emotional part first, because that's where, if your emotions are off, if your mind is off a little bit, it's going to have an impact literally on everything. You can have all the tactical gear and all of that stuff all you want, but if your mind ain't right, it's going to literally throw everything off. And that's why we're starting with this. And then we're going to get into the other stuff.
Okay, can you?
You want them to see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you two pictures here, and this ties into what I was just speaking about. Oh, sorry. This ties into what I was just speaking about. You see this person's eyebrow, right? Do you see the ends of the eyebrows where they look very sparse, very thin, all right? Like they're disappearing, all right? I want to show you one more picture. Do you see that? I want you, if you're near a mirror, I want you to take out a mirror and take a look at the tips of your eyebrows, the tips of your eyebrows. Okay. This is not a 100% telltale sign, not a 100% sign, but it is very, very common when your thyroid is not operating adequately. All right. The tips of your eyebrows will thin until they almost bald. They're almost balding, and I'm not talking about you plucked them that way, or some people just have thin eyebrows where the whole brow is thinner, a thinner diameter. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking where you can see a visible difference between the beginning of the brow towards the bridge of the nose and the ends of the brow, all right, where it gets very, very thin. Okay, so this is one of the signs of hypothyroidism, okay, or an underactive thyroid. Well, Nicole, why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about that? I'm talking about that because there is a connection between your adrenal gland and your thyroid. Your adrenal gland helps you to process stress. All right. It helps you to process stress. But when you're constantly in a state of stress, all right, you can go into adrenal fatigue and eventually adrenal burnout. All of this affects the thyroid. All right. And so I wanted to bring up, and y'all, what we just, if you haven't noticed, when we go through things like this, we keep it extremely basic. All right. We don't do, 4 or 5 hour workshops delving in deep and go, you can do that. But we keep things very basic. Why? Because we want people to get the point and be able to make small changes or make small decisions in their lives that create big impacts. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when you give people so much information, they throw their hands up. Well, I can't, this is too much. It's too much. You know what I mean? Because we're dealing with so much already in our daily lives. So I want to bring up, one article really quickly, and Dwayne, it'll be in your email.
Which one?
Go 8.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see.
Yeah, people are like, I'm looking at my eyebrows. That's my brow. Yeah, and there's a lot. Yeah, that's right there. There are a lot of reasons why our endocrine systems are not functioning like they should, why we're having issues with thyroid. There are all kinds of factors, from heredity to our diets to the things that they're spraying in the air overhead, to there's so much that affects our thyroid. But I want to hone in on this. We're going to spend like a couple of minutes here, again, talking about stress and how it affects the entire body. All right. So this is the adrenal thyroid connection, chronic stress and how it impacts the thyroid function. All right. Your adrenal glands are responsible for producing, obviously, adrenaline and managing your fight or flight response. Okay, I talked about the amygdala. Well, your adrenal glands are also a part of that process when you're under stress. Okay, but when you're in a state of chronic stress, your adrenals basically they get burned out. They just get burned out. Okay, but on the way to burnout, okay, your hold on one second. I'm trying to skip through so I don't take too long reading this. This state of chronic stress puts your adrenals on overdrive for extended periods of time, continuously flooding your body with cortisol until your adrenals can no longer keep up with the constant demand for more and more stress hormones, leaving you in a state of adrenal fatigue. This flooding and eventual plummeting of stress hormones may have negative impacts on the thyroid. Slowed thyroid hormone production. So cortisol functions in a negative feedback loop with the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. Once cortisol enters your bloodstream, it signals to your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland to slow down so that they don't trigger any additional stress hormones, right? But those organs, the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, they regulate thyroid hormone production. So that slows down as well. Okay? And so basically, without going into all of this, your thyroid, you've got T1, T2, T3, and T4. And so your stress hormones are affecting your T3 and your T4 conversion. I'm not going to go into all of that. But my point is that stress is having a larger effect on your life than you think it is. Okay? And Nicole, why are you taking all of this time focusing on stress? Just give us what we can use to detox our body from these train wrecks. And this is as we go forward in this kind of chaos that we live in, you're going to have to work on how you can manage your stress, because the chaos may continue. All right. So if we don't focus on this now, you could be in a situation where something happens in your city, in your town, and you need to be able to make a solid decision, but you can't because your adrenals are burned out, your amygdala is huge, and you're not processing the situation properly in order to make a sound, even short-term decision. Okay? So I'm focusing on the foundation first, right? And so anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. Obviously, well, we'll just look at this. Stress reactivates latent infections, which causes your immune system to fight the infection with inflammation. Non-targeted inflammation damages your tissues, triggering a stress response, and it starts all over again. All right. And the more you continue to do that, you're more at risk for autoimmune conditions. Okay. Weakened gut barrier. We're not going to get into leaky gut and gut health, but all of this stuff is connected. And then go into how to test for adrenal fatigue. So I'm throwing this in your ear. Okay. And I'm going to also show you, am I going to show you some supplements for adrenals? Yes, I am. For adrenal health? Yes. Different things you could do for thyroid? Yes. But just know it's like this. If I have a stressful relationship, all right, a stressful friendship, let's go there. People that stress me out, you can pop a adrenal support pill, right? But you're still in these relationships, or you're still in these situations. Okay. So the root cause of the stress has to be addressed in order for the body to fully heal. Okay. All right. So let's go to, can I bring up our page, the new page?
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
go ahead and type.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take you to a page that we are in the process of creating. It's not completely done, but we get emails all the time from people saying, "Hey, I have this issue. Is there anything that you would recommend?" Or, "Hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you recommend, or what should I take?" And all of that kind of stuff. Number one, we're not, herbalists, doctors, anything like that. We can just share with you the limited information, knowledge that we have through our experience, and also share some research resources with you. Okay. But because we get these emails all the time, what I wanted to do was create a page of our Amazon. I call it our Amazon favorites. So it's stuff that we don't sell. We don't sell it, but we want to point you to what we take, or what you can take, what these things do, and you can go and get it on your own. This page will have, not everything's from Amazon. All right. Some things are from other places that we like, Progressive NutriCare and Global Healing Center, and so they're not from Amazon. Some of these links, or most of the links, will be from Amazon. They're affiliate links, right? So we get like 1%, I think on it. Like, for example, if you buy let's say you buy a supplement that's $20, they give us 20 cents. I mean, so it's like that, whatever, but the point is we don't carry it. So we want to point you to some of these things that you can put in your life, that are helpful to you and for you. Okay. The first thing, and so, like I said, it's a list that we are building. The links aren't even, most of the links aren't even there yet. Okay. They're not even there yet, but, we'll go through and show you foundational health, right? Magnesium, K2D3, NAC, liposomal glutathione, adrenal supplements. We'll talk about berberine, and then, like I said, we've got some products that you're not going to find on Amazon, but that we really like. I'm going to also list on here a very short blurb of why these things are important. And like I said, this list, we just started it. Mm-hmm. This list is going to be very long. Okay. There's so much stuff that's not even there yet. I'm just showing you that we're building it. Different things for immunity. And again, these are things that we don't sell. We have a ton of things on sambatree.com that are awesome for immunity, but these are things that we do not sell, but we want to let you know where you can get them. Pain. All right. I'll show you if we have time. We may not, but some of these different, these devices that are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Ultrasound device. I'll show you that here in a second. TENS machine, red light therapy. I'll show you that in a second. Survival. So the Berkey system, we can maybe start with that. We'll start with that since we talked about water. Some of these filters, fluoride and arsenic filters, shower filters that you can get to cleanse the water. We'll start there. And then there's some tech items. We'll be putting some generators that we like, solar panels that we like, because we carry small solar panels. We don't carry the large ones. All right. EMF protection, sleep aids and wind down, some other cool devices, bookstore. Dwayne has listed some books here that are more health and science related. And I'm sure this list will be building. We'll continue to build. Okay. This, the tab on Sambatree is called Amazon Faves. And just know that it's not done yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. But let's go down and start with cleaning the water. Okay. We're going to start with cleaning the water, and then we'll move to the NAC and the liposomal glutathione, which are really impactful for removing poisons out of your system. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So,
you can just click on any.
Okay. So this is the big Berkey, the actual water system. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they have multiple sizes. Right. This is the big Berkey. They have smaller sized Berkeys, larger sized Berkeys. We're not going to go through everything on this list, you all. Oh yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. So the Berkey comes in 7 sizes. Mm-hmm. If you do not have a Berkey, I understand the price may be a barrier to entry for, or just may be a barrier for people. And that's fine. I understand that. But if you can, I would say in this day and time, you need to have a Berkey system in your home. Now, there's some people that have reverse osmosis, whole house water purification systems, and that's awesome if you can do that. But if you can't, and you can get a system for $200, $300. You will find that it is absolutely worth it. We've had our Berkey for how long, Dwayne?
I don't know how long. I was thinking about when we were in Florida.
Yeah.
And I remember, because you have to clean it out periodically. I remember when we were in Florida, and the top part is where you pour your water, and then the bottom part is after it goes through the filters, and we'll talk about the other filter too.
Yeah.
And I remember getting a paper towel and just wiping in it, and it's like this brown film that was in the water, and it filtered all of that out, and it was just so amazing to see that, because that could have been going in my body. And the part of Florida, they've already had some issues anyway with the local water, so it was good to be able to have something in place to know that I can visibly see that there are some things that are being taken out of our water that I can just drink, and know that I'm drinking something that has been seriously filtered. I mean, like seriously filtered.
And the Berkey will come with 2 black filters. Can we go up? These black filters right here, it's going to come with your Berkey system. All right. So that's going to take out chlorine and a host of other common chemicals that are in municipal water. I say municipal water, but are in water, and even in fresh water. All right. And also the water coming through from your municipal system. But in addition to that, where'd you go? In addition to that, what we have in our house, we have the black filters, but then these white filters are for fluoride. Fluoride are for fluoride. Okay.
Fluoride and arsenic.
Fluoride and arsenic. All right. So when you get your Berkey system, it's not going to come with the white filters. You're going to have the 2 black filters. All right. But these white filters attach to the black filters. And so you're getting the chlorine, a lot of other chemicals, and you can, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the list right here today, but you can actually research on Berkey all the list of chemicals that these filters will filter out of your water. Okay. And then you get the white filters for the fluoride and arsenic reduction. Okay. There you go. So the Berkey PF2 fluoride and arsenic reduction elements are designed for use in conjunction with the black Berkey filters, right? To absorb the following potential water contaminants: fluoride, arsenic, preoxidized arsenic, and other residual heavy metal ions. Okay. So we just wanted to start there because we've used that for years, and we've had the same Berkey. Just, it's not something that you have to replace every couple years. We've had it for probably 10 years.
Well, I don't know, man.
It's been a very long
time. And as you can see here, this is more of a drastic example here, but they're taking just water from somewhere.
Untreated fresh water.
And you just put it in there. And the thing about the filters, the holes are so tiny. It's like it ain't nothing getting through there, and it's just really, so it's by the time it makes it through those black filters, and then it's heading off into those white filters. By the time it gets through all of that, man, you straight. You're getting yourself some good water. Yep,
200 plus typical contaminants found in freshwater sources, right? So if, now again, we're not saying that the people in East Palestine or East Palestine can throw this water in a Berkey and it's good. That's a whole nother
situation.
That's another situation. But for those of us who, let's say a freshwater spring is a natural spring is not near you, and all you have is the tap water. Throw it in that Berkey.
This would have been perfect for the people in Flint, Michigan.
Exactly. In Flint, Michigan. All right, let's go back to the list. I want to show you the shower filters, which are much cheaper. There you go.
And these links are on that page now, by the way. Just want to let y'all know.
Yeah. So this is the shower filter. All right. So you want to attack it both ways. What you're putting in your body and the water that's going on your body. Right. So Berkey has these shower filters. Now this is the new one. Okay. We have the old school white ones that they used to have. These are the shower filters. You see how you can still use your same shower head and the Berkey filter is up here. Right. So you can still use your same shower head, and just attach it onto your system. This is your, the shower filter with the filter cartridge, $58. And the replacement filter is $42, I believe, $42. Okay.
And then when you're going to install it, just use the, what I do is, for some of the handyman in the house, you get that tape, that you wrap around the I don't know what you call it, the part of the pipe where you screw in the threading, that threading tape, just wrap it around there as well so that you can get a nice tight seal. Because when I did it without it, because what's happening is, remember now, the water that's coming out of the pipe going into that filter, it's going through a filter. So it's not going to be as strong as it was if the filter wasn't there. And so if you don't have that threading tape around there, what's going to happen is you're going to have some leakage. But if you put that threading tape on there, all of that water it's going to go right through the filter, and you're going to get, like right now, that was my problem. It was like, man, this thing is weaker. But then what I did was I put that threading tape around there, and then our shower is just as strong. It's almost as if we didn't have it on there. And so yeah, just make sure I would add the threading tape as well, to put around there so that you're getting all that water. It's nothing's leaking or anything like that.
And shout out to Rohan in the chat. Thank you, Rohan. I didn't even look that up because I assumed that it didn't. Rohan just put a link in the chat that the black filters filter out vinyl chloride. And I did not know that. So this would be a benefit to people in Ohio, apparently. So those of you, Rohan just put a link in the chat. Definitely click on that. So that is great. That's great news. Very, very, very good news. Thank you, Rohan, for that. And just real quick on the shower filters, 3,000 gallons. These filter cartridges will filter out 30,000 gallons, or approximately 1 year of showers. All right. So, and reduces up to 98% of harsh chlorine. Now, again, the shower filters don't take out fluoride. They don't. All right. But let's move on. Let's go back to the list. And I'm gonna hit probably just a few of these, you all. Since let you kind of go on and enjoy your evening. You don't know where it is. That's great news. Great.
Yeah, let me
go ahead.
Just a couple of things I want to hit real quick, and then we can continue on there.
Go ahead.
Just a few things. I have some of it on the list right now. Down here in the text section. This is just some of the things. These are just recommendations. I'm not saying you got to get these exact things, but I'll just show you, because I'll make that a lot clearer in that text section there. Let's see. So, okay. So like the video that we showed, I think yesterday, there was a family. Can you hand me my little laptop over there? It's a laptop, and then I have I think the drive on top of it. There's a family that said, hey man, we got to get up, we have to get out of here because of the, this situation happened. So let's say, for example, you get word or something that, dang, we're going to have to get out of here quick or whatever. Well, this is, regardless if it's a train, plane, automobile, we don't care. But what is important is your data. All right. Making sure that you back up your data. And, well, I backed everything up in the cloud. I mean, no, you, the cloud. Okay, the cloud is basically someone else's computer. It ain't up in space somewhere. No, it's someone else's computer. So it should be something that you back up on your stuff so that it's, so that you have control of it. You know where everything is. So just a couple of quick things that I would recommend you doing is one of the good things about, I can't speak for Android. I can't speak for Android, but I know with the iPhone now, there's the functionality where you can, take pictures and it functions as a scanner now. So you don't really have to go buy the days of having to buy a whole scanner. You don't have to do that now. You can use your cell phone. And so what I would recommend is any of your vital records and stuff like that, of course, have that stowed away in a folder or something like that. But also, too, just take digital copies of it. I would definitely do that. Take some digital copies as well. And then you can save it onto a drive. And the type of drive I would recommend is, and I showed this earlier in the broadcast, is something that is what I look for is something that is drop proof, meaning that if I dropped it, or shock proof, I should say, and something that's also waterproof. And then what I also look for is something that is extremely portable, like extremely. I mean, because there are drives you can get that are larger and they can hold a lot of stuff. But I tell you, it was a while back I had a drive like that. And what happened was I dropped it, and all the information I had on there, I could not retrieve it. I still got the drive sitting around here somewhere, just hoping and praying for a miracle that I can retrieve some stuff off of it. But now that same drive, the size of it, it's this one that I have right here is larger than that one. And this one here, the thing I like about it, it's got a keychain on it. This is 1 terabyte. This is a SanDisk drive. It's 1 terabyte. It's waterproof, and also it's if I drop it or whatever, it's drop proof, and it's so it's in a solid state, So but anyway, one of the reasons why I would recommend this one is because of the fact I have a box here. One of the reasons why I would recommend something like this is because just the portability of it. Literally, I could just slip it in my pocket and I'm good. Also the size of it. Those are the reasons why I would recommend something like this. Okay. I have another one here. It's plugged in right now. It's a little bit larger. And that's drop proof too, but it's not waterproof. I go for the waterproof thing too, because you just never know. You know what I mean? You just never know. So definitely. That was the other reason why I was saying I would recommend this particular one here. And like I said, again, the link is on that page. I'll bring it up in a moment. It's on Amazon. However, I did get this at Costco, and I saved a whole lot of money at Costco. It's not on sale now, but at least not in the Costco where I live. But when it was on sale, I actually got 2 of them, and so I have it kind of set up to where this is like my absolute must-haves on here. And then then I have a larger drive which is plugged up around here too. That one has a lot more stuff on there. But it's still very small enough where I can slip it in a pocket. But this one, by far, I can definitely put this on a keychain and I'm good. All right. And this one, something like this, I would really recommend. You can fit a ton of stuff on here, videos, photos, images, all kinds of stuff on there. And that way, like I said, again, if you're on a run or you gotta get out of Dodge or something like that, you got everything done. I actually set aside a day or two this week, and I was just backing up a bunch of stuff, so that, if I had to shut things down, I can easily just grab things and I can keep it right on moving. That's the one thing I would recommend. Another thing I would recommend, I put this computer on here, but you don't necessarily have to get it. I work off of a desktop. I used to work off of a laptop. I had a MacBook Pro, and I don't know, I wore that thing out. But, they're expensive, and I wouldn't recommend that everyone needs to get a MacBook Pro. You definitely do not need to get a MacBook Pro. You definitely do not, because it's just too expensive. But if you can get what I did is I went to Best Buy and I was looking for. I say, just find me the cheapest and the laptop you got. I just want something just very inexpensive. It does the basic stuff. I can get on the internet and I can access my data. And so I got this right here. This is the HP Pavilion 3. 360, HP Pavilion 360, and I think it's 11-inch. The thing I like about it, like how small it is, you can fold it back. It doubles up as a, like a pad, and then it's a touch screen and all that stuff too. I think I walked out of the door with this paying right under $300. It was very cheap, and I use it. Like if I have to go on a trip or something like that, this is where I use it. And then, but this is an emergency thing. So if I had to, go somewhere or whatever, travel, if we had to go somewhere, this would be the thing to take because it's so light and it's so, I depend more on this more so, even though I do have an iPad. I like this better because with an iPad, I want a real keyboard. You know what I mean? And I know when the iPad got keyboards too, but they ain't the same thing, So I want a keyboard. And the other thing is this also has USB ports so that I can plug in my stuff into, because some of the iPads, I think some of the newer ones have USB ports, but some of the other ones, they do not. So if you want to be able to access your data, you definitely want to get some type of laptop. If you already have one, great. But if you don't have one, I would definitely recommend something like an HP Pavilion. Just like I said, again, I paid under $300 for this. You can go on Amazon and look around and see, maybe you can get it cheaper, maybe on eBay or something like that. And it's just something where like you can quickly access your stuff. And just do the basics, because that's all you really need is just the basics. And really that's it. But the reason why, like I said, I opted for this again is because it has the USB ports on there and I can very easily access my data on here and continue to do what I need to do. And so this is something you're definitely going to, I would definitely recommend, like I said, again, you don't necessarily need to get a whole MacBook Pro and all that kind of stuff. You just need to be able to access your data and to communicate with folks. And that's really all you need. So again, it's a HP Pavilion 360. I don't know. Hopefully they're still making them. I don't know if it's discontinued or whatever, but you do not need to spend a whole lot of money at all for that. Okay. So making sure you have your data backed up. And like I said, you can get a device as small as this. They make some things even smaller than this, but the smaller it is, the more expensive it is. Solid state technology. Let me just explain that. SST or whatever it's called. Solid state data. I think that's what it is, SSD. Why that's important? It's important. Well, number one, it's faster, but the other thing that it's what makes us good is because there's no moving parts. You know how when you plug in like a USB drive and you can hear it like clicking and doing it, you can hear the little clicking. Well, that's little moving parts. Well, that's good, but it is working. But if you drop that mug, it ain't good, because whatever that the little pin that's in there that's moving, that's reading that data, if you drop it, that shock will mess that pin up, and you will not be able to get your data. So you're gonna pay a little bit extra, just a little bit extra for it, but it's worth it. To get something that's a solid state device. Let me just pull that up real quick and I'm done. I just wanted to cover that real quick. It's right here in the tech right here. I'm just pulling it out right here. No, that's not the one. Hold on. That was the computer. Okay, hold on. It's right here. Okay, let me pull that up on the screen. All right, and this link I do have up on, it's live on there. So it's 106, and at Costco I paid $89. That was when it was on sale. I paid $89. I just got the 1 terabyte. I mean, you can get something larger if you want, but I just got 1 terabyte. And let's see. Yeah, so there you go. So solid state drive. So it is SSD, solid state drive. versus getting a USB. I'll just show you the other options here. Okay. Just so that, because I want people to really see what I'm talking about here and why that's so important. Let's see, external. Okay, I'll just do that. Something like anything like this, right? Things like this external hard drive, something like that. If you drop that mug, you're going to lose, you're putting your stuff at very high risk. Something like this, again, if you drop it, you're putting your stuff at high risk. I'm not taking any chances. So you definitely want to get something that has, that's solid state. I would just go with that. Yeah. And about 1 terabyte, you should be good. All right. So, yeah. So I just wanted to show you that in terms of data. It's going to be, make that a weekend project, to, back up your data, all your important stuff so that you can fit it all on a drive somewhere. And then, when if situation arises where you're going to have to, relocate, you don't have to lug your big old desktop and you all sitting up crammed up in a hotel room with a big old desktop and got your speakers and then all of this. And you don't need all of that. Just get you something basic so that you can continue to, so there's continuity in your home as it pertains to your data. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share on that.
Okay. I'm going to hit just a few of these supplements, and then I'm going to show you some devices real quick. On our Amazon faves, the first supplement, and mind you, let me just say this. The items that I'm going to list on this page are general, like foundational health type supplements, not specific. Like you can get yourself in trouble with certain supplements that are not for you, that you shouldn't be taking. Okay. So these are just going to be general foundational health supplements that anybody can pretty much take. Okay. That keeps us, I never want someone to take something that is going to, they're going to have a bad reaction to. So the first one is magnesium. I'm not going to go through and show you each one on Amazon because it just takes way too long. Magnesium. Okay. We take this one, Jigsaw Magnesium, and it's a time released magnesium. There you go. It's a time released magnesium. Okay. So you can take 2 a day. If you're very deficient in magnesium, you can take 2 in the AM, 2 in the PM. What happens is it's releasing magnesium throughout the day in your body. Why is magnesium extremely important? Most people are magnesium deficient because we used to be able to get magnesium from our foods. All right. Because of the soil that the food, the fruits and vegetables were grown in was nutrient dense. But because the soil is in such bad condition, even if you grow your own, you might say, well, I got my own land and I grow my own. The soil itself, the quality of the soil has depreciated so much because of what we've done to it, and because of farming techniques. You used to be able to. Let me back up. The way things naturally grow is you have this type of plant that grows next to this type of plant that grows next to this tree that grows next to, and the soil never gets depleted of one certain, element, if you will, right? Or one mineral, because there are all of these different, I'll just say plants, vegetables, whatever, that are being grown in the wild. But because of conventional farming, this land we use to grow this, this land we use to grow this. Some people, they do try to rotate, their crops, if you will, but that mechanical way of, this modern way of farming and growing produce to meet demands, it's depleted the soil very substantially. All that to say, you're not getting the magnesium that you used to when you eat your fruits and your vegetables. So magnesium it's involved in more than 300 processes in the body, from DNA processes to metabolism, insulin metabolism, brain balance, all that. A study was done that showed magnesium deficiency for 7 days, basically being deficient or going without magnesium for 7 days was linked to depression. And I'm going to tell you a true story. I ran out of my magnesium, forgot about it, forgot to order it again. And I was on like week 2 or so, maybe 2 weeks or so plus. And I just was feeling kind of blah. And I was like, Dwayne's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. And it wasn't until a little later I realized, oh, snap. I ran out of magnesium like 2-3 weeks ago. And I took my magnesium. You know, some people might say, oh, that was psychosomatic, or, oh, that was just, placebo effect. But there has been, there's clinical studies that have been done that link magnesium deficiency to depression. All right. So I just want to say that this is the magnesium that we take, very high quality magnesium. I don't, again, I'm going to give you what we take, right? So I don't go grab magnesium from Walmart. This is extremely high quality magnesium. All right. So that's it on magnesium. The next one that is a must have for us is K2D3. You gonna take a picture of it? It's okay because it actually we work with 2 different brands. This is just one of the brands. K2D3. You guys already know how important getting your D3 is from the sun. That's the best source. We've talked about, getting your vitamin D from the sun. We've talked about that in many, many videos, so we won't spend time and do that now. But if you are, especially during the winter where there's less sunlight, especially if the more melanin that you have in your skin, the less vitamin D you are taking in from the sun. Okay. The more melanin you have to stay in the sun longer to absorb that. When I say D3, your body is producing D3 from exposure to the sun. But Dwayne would have to stay in the sun longer than I would to get the same effect. Okay. And so in the wintertime, even worse, right? Because not only do you have less sunlight, but it's cold, right? So you're indoors more. So you're getting even less. And so D3 is another foundational supplement that anybody can take. And again, I'm not a doctor. So let me not say anybody can take, okay? But K2D3 has not been shown to have any type of adverse effects, okay? I'll put it like that, okay? And you got to have it. Like, you got to get your D3, okay? You got to get your K2D3. It's great to take it at night because it causes it causes your body to begin and your muscles to actually begin to relax. So it's very good to take it at the end of the day. All right, K2D3. Let's go ahead and get that one out of there, Dwayne. And Dwayne, can we get that out of there? What you doing? Okay, this next one, and then I'm going to show you a short video about NAC and glutathione. But I want to show you this one really quickly. This is another very good one, and it would definitely benefit our people. He's going to put it on the screen. This is berberine. All right. I don't know if you have ever heard of berberine. Berberine is something that I have recently, when I say recently, a couple months ago, started taking. Berberine is out of sight. What does it do? Berberine is excellent for blood pressure, regulating blood pressure. It's excellent for regulating blood sugar. Berberine actually operates like the drug metformin with people with your blood sugar. All right, issues. Insulin resistance, managing your glucose levels, prohibiting insulin spikes after you eat. Berberine. So what do I do? Well, let me say this. Well, what do? I take 3 berberine a day after every meal with a little bit of coconut oil on a spoon. Why? Because coconut oil increases the absorption of berberine. Okay. Berberine is hard to absorb. All right. And so it's not as bioavailable as some other supplements you might take. But when you take it with coconut oil, you get a lot more absorption, a lot more. So you eat your meal, boom, you take your berberine, 500 milligrams of berberine after you eat with a little tiny spoonful of coconut oil, boom, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And it's going to help your body not to your insulin not to spike after you eat. Okay. And it does a ton of other things. It's great for your eyes, ton of stuff. But berberine works similarly to the pharmaceutical drug metformin in with people who have diabetes or dealing with blood sugar issues. If you look at the studies, they'll say some people noticed a difference, some people didn't. Question is, were they taking it with coconut oil? Most likely they were not. Because that is what increases the absorption rate. All right, let's get that out of here. And I'm going to show you these. You don't have to take a picture of. I just want to show you. We're gonna put on. Jermaine said, "What if you take it with MCT organic oil?" So MCT is medium chain triglycerides, and it comes out of the coconut oil. I am a fan of taking things. Obviously, we're taking supplements, right? But when possible, I like getting whatever the benefit is of the food in the form of the whole food. So, for example, yes, we have black seed oil, but I like using black seeds whole because I want to get the whole food and take it in its complete form because that's how the Most High created it. So the studies, Jermaine, have been done with coconut oil, not with MCT, right? Which is the derivative of coconut oil. So I would use coconut oil if I were you, right? I put MCT in my smoothies and stuff. It's cool. But I would use coconut oil. Okay, really quickly, we're not going to put these on the screen, but we will put things on that Amazon link to help with stress. Like I mentioned, this is a supplement called Pro Adrenal. It is very basic. It's not heavy. Like basically, it's just general. Anybody can take it for general adrenal health and support. Okay. Ashwagandha, you have ashwagandha and other adaptogenic herbs that help you deal with stress. And then you have stress specific supplements. This one's called cortisol. You can't really see it. I'll probably put this. Yeah, you can take a picture. I'll probably put this one on. I want to hurry up because I want to get to the devices because they're fun. All right. So I will add those things to help support a natural and healthy stress response. I'm going to put those on there too. And I will also put the things that we do not carry on. There's the cortisol. Yeah. There's the cortisol, natural stress buster. That one definitely did pep me up. I will say it definitely pepped me up. So yeah, so I'll add that one as well. All these things just to help, right? Natural health, stress response. I will also put the faves for our family for immunity. All right. There are certain things that we don't sell on Samba Tree, that we have in our pantry that we absolutely love for healthy immune response. So when we feel like we're coming down with something, we've used these things in the past. Okay, so I'll add that. And then this one I'll just show you. Okay, Dwayne, you can take a picture of that. This is Andrographis, and this has been around for a while. It's used in, I think, Ayurvedic medicine, but it gained a lot of popularity when COVID kind of came on the scene. And a lot of studies were done on Andrographis and its ability to prevent, mitigate COVID, COVID symptoms, not COVID symptoms, but actually the infection itself. Andrographis. So that's in our pantry as well. We'll put that on the Amazon Faves page, along with a host of other things that we use, that we like for immunity. Okay, real quick, I want to show you a short video, and then we'll get to the devices. This video is about NAC and glutathione. So NAC, glutathione, again, under that foundational health section, really important. And they are very, very powerful at cleansing the body from poisons and toxins. Okay. And a lot of people's attention turned to NAC and glutathione during, once the vaccine was released, because there were some naturopathic doctors, also some traditional medical doctors, and I believe an immunologist as well, did some studies on how do you get the graphene oxide out of the body. Graphene oxide they found in the vaccine. You've heard us report on that over a year ago. And because people say, oh, you can't get it out, you can't get it out, you can't get it out. Well, they found that they had some success when people were taking NAC and glutathione. So I want to show you this quick video, and I'll show you the NAC and the glutathione that we take as well. All right. And then Dwayne, once we move to the devices, I'll be done. Mm-hmm. I'll be all done. Okay. I think I sent it to you.
Is this what happened when we feel fear?
No.
Oh.
You're in 8. Yeah, that one right there. I think this video is 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. This is it's a video from Dr. Berg. He's not my favorite guy, to be honest, but it was a helpful video, so I want you to hear it. So you can understand why it's important. Oh, by the way, there was some talk, and Rohan may know this. There was some talk about taking NAC off of the market after the vaccine was released. Or after the vaccine was made available, and this buzz started happening about how NAC and how glutathione kind of mitigated the effects of the vaccine and helped the body to cleanse itself as much as possible. There was talk about taking NAC off of the market. Isn't that something? So, yeah, but I want you to hear this.
Video on NAC and acetylcysteine and all the benefits, but I didn't really emphasize how it works. Now, N-acetylcysteine is a highly studied compound, and it's used even in the medical profession in emergency rooms for Tylenol overdose. It's also good to help detoxify if you have alcohol poisoning, but it also has another very powerful effect in preventing excessive mucus, fluid, and inflammation in your lungs. And in this video, I won't mention the link of what we're talking about related to that specific item because they'll probably take this video down. But let's talk about how this NAC works in the body. Well, basically, it works by increasing something called glutathione. So now we're going to shift gears and talk about how glutathione works in the body. Glutathione is a major antioxidant. And when you have too much Tylenol or too much alcohol or too much poison in your body, what happens is the glutathione gets depleted, and then you have all this free radical damage. You have all this oxidative stress that then destroys the liver. So glutathione is the major protector of poisons and other things that increase oxidation and free radical damage. So glutathione decreases xenobiotics, which are poisons in the body. It stops free radical damage. It can help counter the effects of hydrogen peroxide, which is made by certain immune cells. It helps chelate or binds and eliminates heavy metals, cadmium, mercury, lead, and others. It can help decrease pathogens in the body, and it decreases oxidative stress. Now, there's other things that also boost glutathione. Alpha lipoic acid, ALA, not to be confused with alpha linolenic acid. And then vitamin D helps boost glutathione. And then you have SAMe. Now, other conditions can also put you in a situation where you have low glutathione: cancer, HIV, infection, trauma, burns, chronic disease and inflammation, overtraining from exercise, poison, and diabetes. All right, so if you haven't seen my other video on NAC, I put the link down below. So if you're enjoying my...
Okay. Dwayne, can I go back? All right, so can you take a picture of this? Okay, so NAC and glutathione, I take these every day. But as I mentioned, selenium helps your body produce glutathione, and you can get selenium from Brazil nuts. All right, those of you that don't have a nut allergy. So we'll put these up on the page. I just up on the screen. I want you to see these. I just want to give you all whatever we got. I just want to give you what we take. I want to bring you into the cabinet, and you don't necessarily start taking everything at one time. It may just be stuff that you begin to add as you're, on this kind of wellness journey, so to speak. All right. So that's what you see on the screen. All right. NAC's on the right. On the left, as you can see, it's liposomal glutathione, which is liposomal glutathione is more bioavailable. It's more easily absorbed, because regular glutathione, it's very hard if you take it in a supplement. You're not really absorbing a lot of it. So liposomal really helps you maximize that glutathione. And again, these supplements are simply because you can take it down. These supplements, why do we take supplements? We take them because not only are we not getting all the minerals and, all these different vitamins that we need from our foods, but many people, even if the fruits and the vegetables were still extremely nutrient dense, we don't eat them the way we should, in the balance that we should. You know what I mean? We don't eat as much as we should. So the supplements are just there to help us, in the areas where we're deficient. So that's what I wanted to say pretty much on that. On that list, you'll see us continue to build, add links. You can come back and visit that as you like. But the other thing, the last thing, is we get a lot of emails about pain, people dealing with pain, be it shoulder pain, back pain, knee pain, all types of, injuries, inflammation, tons of stuff. We have on Samba Tree things that deal with your reducing the internal inflammation, right? But sometimes you may have a shoulder injury because of the way you're sleeping. You may have some other kind of injury because of a car accident, whatever. So we have a section on that list called pain. And there are 3 devices that I want to show to you before we finish up.
And I had while she's getting that too, because there's other things I'm just throw out there. We'll because like I said, it's a lot of things we could have included. So we're just hitting, just literally just scratching the surface. But we just wanted to start off very basic and give you just little crumbs, if you will. One of the things you want to include in your goal, your prep bag, is a mask that can handle, I forgot what they call it, but it has like the filters on it. I'm not talking about the N95 mask. I'm talking about something that's good enough for filtering out, let's say, chemicals and stuff like that. I actually had something pulled up here on my computer here, and I just wanted to show them this real quick as you're getting that, because I'm just trying to throw it out here. But something along the lines of this. This is not going to be the perfect scenario, but it's a lot better than not having anything. Okay, so a respirator. How you say?
Respirator.
I'm sorry, respirator. Where am I from? A respirator.
It's Fridays.
A respirator.
Respirator. Dwayne.
When I said respirator mask.
You've gone live too much this
anyway,
week.
a respirator mask. All right. And you want to get something like this, for your bag. And that's just, again, if just to have, just in case. I was pricing these out. They're about $21, $25, if you look on Amazon. And like I said, again, it doesn't block out everything, but it's basically better than nothing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because again, if you were in a situation where there was some chemical spill and it's like vapor in the air, you definitely want to have something, and the number one thing you want to do is make sure you get into shelter immediately. Don't be out there in the house outside trying to do stuff. I got one more. I just want to cut this part of the lawn. Get your behind in the house. Okay. But that's something too I wanted to point out that, you definitely want to add to your little bucket there. All right. Let's go.
Okay. And the next couple things I'm going to show you are more pain relief. Okay. And I think, Dwayne, too, another reason why this list is good is because people may not be able to get the care that they need. You know what I mean? Going into a doctor or whatever, because we don't know what's coming in the future. So it's good to know that these things are available to you. Dwayne actually found this for me. He put me onto this. This is an ultrasound gun, if you will, ultrasound gun or wand. Okay, comes in a case like this. All right, this is the US Pro 2000, and what comes in that is this ultrasound wand or gun, if you will. When a woman gets an ultrasound, when she's pregnant. Same concept. Okay. And what the technology does is this ultrasound gun, it uses ultrasound waves to penetrate into the muscles, causing them to heat up. Okay. And so it increases blood circulation. Anytime you're increasing blood circulation or you're bringing blood to an area, you're reducing the inflammation. Okay. And that is going to speed up healing. And I will tell you, I have used this multiple times on multiple occasions and used it. And within an hour, I was not feeling pain anymore. So there are sometimes I use this, other times I'll use a TENS machine. So what happened most recently, and it comes with the conductive gel, right? Like you see them putting on the woman's stomach when she's getting an ultrasound. So most recently I slept on we need a new mattress. Hello, somebody, we need a new mattress, right? So your pressure points when your mattress is bad, your shoulder and your hip. Right? Because if you're a side sleeper, your shoulder is getting that pressure, your hip is getting that pressure. Okay. So I've had shoulder issues, right? And but this most recent issue, I slept wrong somehow, and I affected my wrist. Okay, so I'm using this ultrasound gun, turning it on. All right, so it has, I won't go through all this, but you can adjust the intensity and the time that you want to use it. Okay, and the tip of it will heat up, and you apply it and use a circular motion. All right, and you can go 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, and it's absolutely, I mean, it works. It literally works. I think I paid $149 for this. It works. All right. But there are occasions, depending on what the injury is, where the TENS machine will work better. You know, it just depends. Sometimes I have to figure it out, you know, what modality or, you know, what would be best. Okay. But that's how it works. Just like that. You don't feel any pain or anything. All right. You don't feel a buzz. Like, you know, the TENS unit, it's sending that electrical pulse. Mm-hmm. This doesn't. Okay. So I just wanted to show you. That's an ultrasound machine, and I could bring it up on Amazon, but you know, I'll put the link.
Yeah, we'll just add the links.
We'll add the links. Mm-hmm. And then next, Dwayne, you want to show the TENS machine or the red light? I'll show the red light. The red light. Most people already know what a TENS machine is. Okay. Sorry, I got you.
Fine.
Can you hold that and plug that up for me?
Plug it up over there.
Okay.
I won't be able to hold it up.
It's too bright.
It's not that it's too bright. It's okay. So this is, I think I talked about this before. The red light therapy. You can use that. That's another thing, because she can break down and tell you about the importance of the red light waves and the importance of it in your body and all of that. So it's 2 modes to it, and like I said again, she'll explain. But this is the bright mode. This joint. Look at me. Anyway, I want to make sure y'all were awake. Okay.
What's wrong with him? Look, the cat. The cat. You got the cat back here. Like, what's going on up in here? What in the world is going on?
I wanted to make sure y'all were awake. Look at me. See, that's just saying. Leave it alone. All right, so you got that intensive mode, and then you got, and then it's not as bright. All right, you see this? It's not as bright. It's on. It may not look like it's on, but it's on. And can you explain them the two?
Yeah. Okay, all right. So this one that we're using is from this company called Huga. Okay. And they make all types of different red light devices. So the bright red setting that Dwayne had on is actually the the lower setting, and then this low setting where you can barely see any red coming off is the higher setting. What's the difference? The red light, depending on the setting, it will penetrate basically a different amount of nanometers underneath the skin, all right, to be able to penetrate the tissue and heal muscle repair, okay, and also speed up healing. So I believe it's probably not necessary, but the bright red, I think, goes 400 to 600 nanometers, and the low light goes like 600 to 800 nanometers. Okay. So red light therapy is not instant pain relief. It is not. Okay. It helps people with arthritis, sciatica, all these different painful conditions, but it helps over time. All right. So it helps and heals over time. Whereas the ultrasound gun and the TENS machine, that's like, I need relief now. All right. Yeah. And so it uses red light in terms of color, the color, there's blue light, red light, all colors on the, why can't I think? And now I'm sounding like you, Dwayne. I'm tired. But it uses color frequency for to heal and affect the body. That's the bottom line. But or color wavelengths, I should say. Yeah. So we've had this one for a while, and this is excellent before sleeping. It helps also relax the body and make for a very good night of sleep. All right. So this one is very good as
Definitely
well.
do that. And then what the better option is, of course, over that is the sun. Of course, that's the ultimately. So, as it gets warmer, because that's electric. That's something that man made. I mean, they can make up some of it, but, you want to get the optimum would be being exposed to the sun. And likewise, like she said, when I was out there like this last summer, just staying out there in the sun, full day. And man, when I tell you it was time for me to go to sleep, I just dropped. I mean, it just dropped. And the same thing with grounding, it does the same thing as well.
Yes.
So you want to make sure you're doing that too. That's a whole nother thing too, to make sure that's part of it.
Yes.
All right, what's the next?
Just real quick, some of the benefits of red and near infrared light therapy, because that's what it's classified as, near infrared. You're getting the near infrared waves. Anti-aging, improving muscle recovery. Again, that's what I was using it for. Slows hair loss, lowers inflammation in the body, increases injury, I should say decreases pain. That's what I was using it for. Muscle recovery is after your workouts. Increases your quality of sleep, enhances fertility, improves the appearance of scars, so on. Improves immunity, joint health. I mean, so on and so forth. It's really good. Improves mood and cognitive function. Improves metabolism, and
a lot more.
Yeah, hormonal health. There you go.
A lot more.
So. Yeah, I'm not going to show the TENS machine, right? Because they know what it is.
Pretty much what that is.
They know what it is. Yeah, he's trying to hurry me up. I can feel it.
No, I feel that. I want them to go on and get some sleep.
Go on and get some sleep. Yeah.
But yeah, family, that's it. We just wanted to touch this a little bit. As we come across different things, because like I said, there's a long list. I think what's my sister name? Green Eggs and Lamb. I think that's her name. Green Eggs and Lamb.
I've seen her in a while.
She added some things in the comment section on one of these posts or whatever too. So so as other things that you think that may be helpful or beneficial or whatever, the next time when we do a post regarding this, feel free to add any of those other things as well. Helpful. And it could be anything ranging from health to, some of the more technical stuff or whatever. Feel free to do that. And let's just use this platform while we have it as a way of just sharing this, exchanging this information, because again, we got
to take our health.
We got to take all of this seriously. I just literally, while she was talking, I went online and I saw that, okay, so Trump is supposed to be visiting East Palestine, right? For, whatever. And then once the White House found out about it, they had monies that they were going to divert over there to help those people. And then they said, oh, y'all like that? All right, we're going to shut the spigot off. Y'all ain't getting nothing. So, the government's playing all this ridiculous nonsense games and stuff like that. And we don't have time for that. We got to, that's why I said again, this is why we got to do things like this so that we can kind of talk some of these things out, is to get you thinking. There may be one thing at least that may spark your mind and, oh, you know what? I need to start doing this. Right. But the most important thing out of everything I would say that we talked about this evening is really that whole thing about your mind and the importance of making sure that, in terms of fear and stress and things like that. There's some of y'all, and I know I'm just rattling off right here, you really need to be healed. For some of you, you're still carrying trauma from childhood and you've never been healed by that. While if you have the opportunity to, I would highly recommend that you go seek counseling for that, and get help. You could take all the herbs you want, but all the herbs in the world ain't going to make you forget the stuff that you went through, the hurt and the pain that you went through many, many years ago. Some of you are still dealing with the trauma of divorce or being left or maybe feeling less than and things like that. We can certainly pray, and you got a whole house of folks here that will pray with you and pray for you. But also there's the other side of it where you're going going to need to get some professional help. And there's no shame in that at all. I want to see you more than anything else. I want to see you well. I want to see you whole. I want to see you live your best and biggest life. I know I'm trying to, for real, but I want to see you do it as well. And taking care of things like that, if you could take care of that, you better than any backpacker, any prepper or anything like that, because you got your mind right and your heart is right. Your emotions are steady, and that's it. Because like I said, I'm telling you, some of the interactions I have with some of our people, I can tell, like, you know, that, man, they're still, it's like they may be grown, but they're a child inside. And that hurts me when I hear that. It really hurts me, you know, when I see that, when I'm interacting with some of our people, because I could tell, you know, you could tell right off. It's like, man, they still haven't been healed, you know, whatever happened. And so, so do take all of these things to heart, you know, that we're saying, and you process it in your own time. Of course, if you have any questions at all, you can email us, and we'll do the best we can. Whatever we don't know, we'll point you to whoever may know. And big shout out to our sister Journey. She sent us some stuff as well, you know, and she's been a blessing too. So what we'll do is probably tomorrow, you know, of course we're not going to do anything live, at least I don't plan to tomorrow. But what we may do is put together a post to kind of summarize some of the things that we talked about, and we'll put all these things on there so that you can, you know, check it out, do whatever you want to do with it. Okay. But that's it. Anything else?
No. Well, I think.
Yeah, you do.
I think, again, I think that we have to, like, these are things we have to take control of. We have to take control of our health. We work on our spirit. We spend a lot of time on that. You know what I mean? We spend a lot of time on that, but then we tend to neglect the other part. You know what I mean? And you need both to be functioning well. You need both to be functioning well. And in this craziness and this crazy time, it's good to have some of these resources already in the house. And just as a testament, Dwayne and I have not been to a doctor in 20 years.
Something.
We went to an integrative medicine place, right?
That was like for a checkup. Yeah,
with natural doctors and all of that. They're traditional and natural doctors, you know, and that's good. But we haven't been sick like that, is what I'm trying to say. So we invest in these things because as a preventative measure. And I think it's time for us to begin to, you know, definitely take it seriously.
Right. So Father, we just thank you again for this time and the time that we can come together and talk about these things. I pray, Father, you love your people so much.
Yes.
And you want the best for your people, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have made us. So you want the best for us. Yes. Father, I pray that our people in the house here, they will live their big, best life that you have set aside for them.
Yes.
I uplift Rohan to you. Todd Wilson, Jermaine, Clayton, Delphia, Lavinia, Wanea, Pamela, Marie, sorry. Y'all, let's see, we got
Yaya Jackson.
Yeah, Pamela, and I mentioned that. Clayton
and his wife.
Wade, I think I saw him in here earlier. And anybody else in here, if I miss you, don't. Michelle, I see Michelle. Don't take it personal. I said Delphia,
Sean.
right? Sean. Anybody else? We just uplift all of these precious dear people to you.
Yes.
And I pray that you would just go with them, be the supplier of their every need. And I pray that you would just bless them abundantly.
Yes.
And we thank you, and we give you all the praise, for you alone are worthy of it. Let it be done, and so.
Yes.
We give them all to you, because these are your people.
Father.
Thank you, Father. Let it be done, and so.
Yes.
All right, family. Listen, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a wonderful weekend. And get yourself something good to eat if it ain't too late. And have a great night's sleep. And we'll be talking again soon. I'll be getting these videos up on BondTube, and I'll upload it on Odyssey as well, and so that you guys can check them out over there. Okay. All right, family, take care. We love you very much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Love you now.